Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Poppy Wolf, and right here we got our boy Adriel Ventura. Adriel, say what's good.
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing?
And today we're gonna be talking about chapter 1000 of the One Piece manga, man. It's about time, bruh.
Yes, sir.
1000, man.
20 years in the making, homie.
20 years. Oda Sensei was out here writing, taking his time making this content. So, Adriel, we got into chapter 1000.
Giving
We
us
just,
that.
huh? Would you say that?
I was just giving us that quality,
Yeah, yeah. But Adriel, man, I asked you to come on this channel because I was like, you know what? This man, when I first saw him after so long, not only did he have his One Piece beanie on, he had his Straw Hat Crew shirt on, bruh. Oh shoot, bro, you cut out. Adriel, you there? You still there? Oh, shit.
It's sorry. Continue.
Your internet's out, bruh. Where you at?
Oh shit. I guess because I exited out. Oh, there we go. Am I there now?
Yeah, you straight, you straight.
Oh,
All right. But yeah, like I was saying, bro, like when I just re-met you again, bro, you had your One Piece shirt, your One Piece beanie on. You was repping the Straw Hat Crew like up the butt, bro. That's what's up, man. So we just reconnected. Chapter 1000 was coming out. I asked you to be a part of this little episode, and you said, "Bro, I'm hella down. I'm so grateful for you to coming on this show, bro."
absolutely, man. Like, I've been like the biggest One Piece stan or fan, whatever you want to call it, since I was like, I don't know, as long as I can remember. When I was a kid, I used to buy the manga volume since volume one at like the fucking local Barnes and Nobles and just fucking read that shit and everything too. And I feel like I was the lucky ones to start at such a young age because I fell in love with the story and just like continued on since then and had that consistency reading. And it's been one of the greatest series I've ever read in my life. I've taken so many life lessons from it and I've just incorporated so much in my life. It's hands down my favorite anime, let alone manga series that I can say in my lifetime. So that was just like a little opening for it. But in terms of chapter 1000, I guess, I don't know, spoiler disclaimer, because I don't know how far some people are.
Hey, man, if you're watching this episode, the Chapter 1000 episode, I done told you catch up or hold on. So you're good, bro. Continue with
Yeah,
Chapter
so anything now, then you know what? You did this to yourself. But
1000.
so in terms of chapter 1000, I was very I don't know, I had my expectations really high at first because I thought, oh man, this is chapter 1000, they're making a big deal, like, you know, like what are they gonna do, how are they gonna like top everything that's come before, let alone it's just the 1000th chapter, like what are they gonna
Exactly.
do? And honestly, it met those expectations. It met the hype. It paid homage to previous what's it called? Previous motifs in previous chapters, as well as symbolize where the future for our favorite Mugiwara crew and where they're heading to and everything. So yeah, what's the first question you want to talk about, or first topic, I guess, in
So
terms of
first
chapters?
topic I really wanted to talk about, and I think a lot of people have been like really focused on that from what I've heard about a lot of people discussing chapter 1000 was how do you feel like every single time they cut off what Roger's about to like mention or what Roger said. Like if you remember like Odin like and Whitebeard when they heard what Roger said, it cuts out. It never says exactly what he said. It just says I was astonished and Whitebeard was laughing. Like, how do you feel like that every moment? Like they relate this back to Luffy back in the flashback episodes when Sabo and Ace tell him like, "What do you want to do?" and he tells them, but they just laugh at him. Like, how do you feel like we keep cutting out on these strong moments here? What do you think it is? Because I don't. I personally agree with like the other half saying he's not just saying he's going to be king of the pirates, but what do you think he's saying when they're cutting off? Like, why do you think Oda is purposely cutting off that last little phrase?
Yeah, I'm glad you do that. You mentioned that in the past because like every time we've seen a flashback of Roger like talking in the storyline or the chapter, it does cut off. It does cut off right before he's about to mention something important, something crucial to the storyline about the One Piece and everything too. For one, it adds that element of suspense to it. It keeps you hooked. It's like, oh fuck, what is he gonna say? Oh, excuse me.
That's all good. Ricky cuss. I'll go fuck.
It keeps you hooked. Is like, okay, what did Roger really want to say and everything too. It keeps you hooked in the storyline. Two, the fact that they keep bringing it back to Luffy's journey, to his claim to the pirate throne, and how much he relates to the damn pirate king. He has his straw hat, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like
Roger's
that's
hat. That's Roger's
yeah,
same hat.
it's the same hat. Um, if that's not foreshadowing like his, I guess not so much plot armor, but
The
his
legacy, Roger's legacy
Pirate
is
King. If not becoming the Pirate King, becoming finding the One Piece, and
yeah,
ultimately reaching that destination that we've been on for so many years and everything too. How he relates to the Pirate King, and the fact that it's a flashback of him and Sabo, as well as Ace, drawing parallels to Roger with Whitebeard and Odin. That's for one, it's significant. It's significant in that he is well on his way to become the next Pirate King that we've so believed in from the very beginning. Um, in terms of what he said a long time ago, I remember Luffy was saying it was a conversation between him and Rayleigh back in the Shabudi arc.
mm,
Um,
let's cut it off real quick.
you have what it takes to conquer all of the pirates to
Yeah,
truly like become Pirate King. And I think that question really was it. He saw literally Roger in his image right when he answered it. And what Luffy said was back then, and I think is what he said, similar to what Roger said in this flashback, was that he just wanted to be free and he just wanted to live life without restrictions and to truly just have no restrictions. And I think I'm not sure if that's specifically what he said in this in this flashback with him, with Sabo, as well as Ace, which is almost exactly what Roger said to Odin and Whitebeard. But I feel like whatever he said was similar along to those lines because I remember when Odin and Whitebeard said that, Odin was flabbergasted. He said like that's almost childlike and everything too.
yeah,
When did he say this little thing that Roger said to Sabo and Ace when they were kids?
exactly. And I kind of want to point out too, like the nice little parallels that you mentioned is it's cool that Yamato sees himself as like a son of Odin, and he kind of sees himself as like the Odin the Odin counter to the idea of that since Ace is taking Whitebeard's spot as Whitebeard's son, and Roger being, of course, Luffy in this direction. It's cool how in the parallel they acted the same way. Like at the first time Ace ever heard it, he laughed, but Yamato the first time she ever heard this, she didn't laugh. She
Right,
literally was flabbergasted and said, "Why would I cry? Why would I laugh at such a dream like that?" And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you when you say that it's freedom. I think Luffy literally says, "I'm going to be king of the pirates, and the one that I'm going to bring freedom to the sea." I think that's his. That's what he keeps telling everybody that he is going to be free and he's going to bring freedom to like the world. And I think everyone is just flabbergasted. Like, what do you mean you're going to bring freedom? And it's not something. It's crazy to say this, but it's like his actions have displayed this more than his words have. We never even heard him utter those words, only that he wants to be free.
right,
But his actions have proved that he wants to free people. He's helped Vivi regain her country and make it a free nation. He's um he's helped Jinbei and the whole Fishman Island remember like you guys are free, never let someone shackle you. And it seems like everybody who sought that freedom or sought that adventure has always flocked to Luffy. Like we have him with Nami who was literally under enslavement and he helped free her. He had Zoro who was constantly holding himself back and constantly chasing a dream to be the greatest swordsman. He freed him to a world where he can do that. Sanji, who was trying to escape his past and only wanted to be a part of a simple world, he helped freedom. I think he just frees everybody. Chopper with getting him off the island. He's offered all these great people freedom. Brook, for example, being stuck on Thriller Bark. Like you kind of think like he never really does need to say it because we've been seeing it so far. We've
right,
seen from his actions that he's been trying to like bring freedom to the seas without even having to try. He's been changing people just by existing, and we keep seeing it through everything he's done. Every little like ripple effect that Luffy's done has caused big waves, and I think it kind of like goes against what the world government has been going because I feel like the world government's whole policy is to like I wouldn't say enslave, but to like keep things under wrap, to keep people secure in order to like, in a sense, provide security, kind of like how our government does with trying to like keep like a lot of truth from the public to keep them in this kind of like protective custody kind of thing. But we see how Luffy's just kind of popping those bubbles left and right, left and right.
right.
So my next question is, how do you feel about like Ace and Yamato, bro? Like I know a lot of people are like, dude, so you're telling me Ace was in Wano all these years ago? how do you feel that Ace is still having a ripple effect in the series way after his death?
Okay, so I'm glad you touched up on that. And again, this is why chapter 999 to 1000 was such a fucking um such an emotional series for or emotional like two chapters for me just because well, going back to the how I said it paid homage to previous things that happened in the storyline. The fact that they brought back Ace, and like you said, he's brought back such a ripple effect even through his death. When Ace died, it was okay. It was emotional, of course. I took a break from One Piece for a month and everything too, and I thought I kind of questioned like why bring in Ace, such a lovable, great character, just for like to kill off. But Oda would never bring in a character unless he had a reason for that. Even if they were to end up dying and everything too, the fact that Ace has such had a ripple effect in Wano, what's it called? Further symbolizes how Luffy um, was meant to come to Wano, was meant to meet Yamato,
Mhm.
was meant to end up seeing Kaido. And even though Ace could not have foreseen him coming to Wano and everything too, he set the precedent, he set the tone that one day Luffy would become great to the point where he would meet Yamato. Whether it was in Wano or not, he would set the people free from Kaido's rule. He just had that faith. And I feel like Ace signifies that in the series. He represents our hope even though he has died, a lot of times we have doubts in ourselves and what we want to reach in our lives and everything. But he, in a sense, died believing to the very end that we could still push through, that we could achieve our dreams. That's what I felt like. And that's what I feel like Oda was trying to create with this character that is Ace. He is a manifestation in the manga, as well as the anime. He is a manifestation for those who have died reaching their goals but have more so died in believing that others they've loved will reach their goals.
And yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I think that that plays a part of the whole will of D. How it seems like every member of the D family or the people who have D in their name, they pass on. It seems like they pass on their goals to the next generation. We have Roger who entrusted Garp, another D, literally with his progeny, with his son. We have Dragon who's trusted like the whole like who's becoming this who's a big old revolutionary who trusts the pirate world to his son. You just have all these people. You have like that one who died over and who saved Robin all those years ago, who entrusted like the fact that she will meet people that will be there for her and provide her with hope and love. And I think all these people kind of pass on their legacies and somehow they all reach Luffy in a sense.
Right, that's absolutely right. And it's interesting to see how this next chapter 1001 is going to play out because you have Monkey D. Luffy as well as Trafalgar D. Waters,
Yeah.
two members of the D family facing a guy. Well, if you want to be more specific with it, you have five supernovas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 5.
Four, four or five. You have Kid, you have Killer, you have Zoro. Yeah, so it's five.
Yeah.
Tropical G Law, and facing off against two Yoko, Big
J
Mom and Kaido.
high key, bro,
So
like
that's like I think the ultimate test of like how far he is going to go against these tradition or not traditional, but well established from the olden times like monsters powers. Like you don't fuck with them, you know.
exactly, and what I really like is that if you notice, we one thing I've always enjoyed about One Piece is that it seems like Zoro and Killer are the only right-hand men in their respective and all the respective supernova crews to be rewarded the title supernova, even though they're not captains in their rights. Um, I personally think in this fight coming, we're not going to see Kaido or Big Mama die. I think we're gonna,
Oh, of
s-
course.
I think we're gonna see them get beaten. But I have a strange fact, and I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, he probably isn't." But I feel like Kid is somehow gonna be a D. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but I feel like Eustace D Kid is gonna be like a thing. I don't know. A lot of people were always trying to figure out why did he go after Shanks first. I thought he possibly could be like Shanks' bastard son because they both kind of have red hair.
Hey man, it could be like
Kind
could be,
of
could be.
could be like it's a little thing, but I think somehow Kid was gonna be a D. But one thing I really do I'm kinda happy they're doing and not doing is that they kinda have this idea of like, "Oh, Luffy's the promised one, Luffy's the chosen one," but at the same time too, they're like, "No, he's not. He's just leading the new generation. He's leading the stampede in a
Right.
sense. And it's like he's not so much the chosen
Yeah.
one, but he's just the helm, the man at the helm.
Like this kind of like goes back to like that foreshadow back we saw in Shabado arc, which was very like a very for good representation of foreshadow and everything. You saw Kid, you saw Traffic Law, as well as Luffy, the big three among the supernovas,
Yep.
leading the charge after he the what's called Celestial Dragon. Those three were just fucking up the Marines and everything too. And you just wished like, oh man, are they ever gonna team up again in the future? Lo and behold, here they are again against the two Yonko in beautiful fashion. And I wouldn't doubt if Oda were to incorporate the D family into Kid's name. Who knows? Maybe like Kid misspelled his name or something. He had like two D's in his name, but the second D was just Kid D.
That's what I think.
Or
That's what, dude. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, it's probably Kid with two D's, but they just
yeah,
spell it with one D.
yeah, exactly.
But no. So talking about Kid and Traffical Law and Luffy again. So when we see them all together in that first portion, do you notice that they're both present at the what do you call it, the auction, but they both wait to make their move until they see Luffy do what he does. And I think that's a
Exactly.
big symbolism of like these guys, as much as they're pirates and they're captains and do whatever they want, they're waiting for a reaction. I feel like that's what Luffy is. Luffy's like literally they're powder kegs, but Luffy keeps being the spark that lights up these
Smart.
yeah, he keeps being the spark that lights up their motive and their motivation to attack or their motivation to make moves. And I think that's what like the kind of prophecy means is that Luffy isn't so much a chosen one, but he's just the spark that just ignites all these different explosions. And I'm really excited to see like to what's gonna happen in this fight because I from the pairings, like I don't know if you know who's fighting who or if you remember who's fighting who, but the pairings of like Big Mama and Kaido versus the Supernovas, I honestly feel like it's gonna be Luffy and Zoro versus Kaido, and Law Kid and Killer versus Big Mama. I don't feel like it's gonna be an all out war, but I feel like it's gonna be paired off to where they're gonna focus on Luffy and Zoro basically fighting Kaido, 2-1. But I am also excited to see the other pair off fights.
Right. Oh yeah, that's what we all come to see when it comes to like these big arc what's it called? Sagas. And in terms of like the main islands whenever they come, you want to see who's going to fight who. Um not just with like the main captains who they're gonna fight against. Like, who's Luffy gonna fight? Who's Zoro gonna fight? Who the monster three like Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy are gonna fight? You want to see who Usopp's gonna fight? Who's Chopper? All like the subordinate crew members who are they gonna fight as well.
Exactly.
But it cut off a little bit, so I kind of got a little gist of it. But I do believe that it's gonna be probably like for sure. We know Luffy is gonna fight Kaido. That's for sure.
Luffy,
Um,
Zoro are kind of they're preoccupied with Kaido and Big Mama.
right,
Yep.
right. I mean, like in chapter 1000, like towards the end when Luffy hit Kaido with that red rock, or even before he hit him with red rock, when he was like approaching them to, or even before he was approaching them, he went to go check on Kinemon to make sure he was okay. But he like fucking moved past Kaido.
Yeah, dude. I know exactly what you're referring to. That quick little like that Dragon Ball Z kind of
You see a
swoosh.
little panel to get into action.
Yeah.
Yes.
That Dragon Ball Z swoosh he does. Hold on. The internet
Yeah,
the
yeah.
internet okay, there you go. The
It was
internet.
that where he just fucking like yeah.
Yeah. What else was happening
Uh,
in that chapter? Yo, on God, did you this is a fun question because I constantly I truly think they had it. Do you think the nine scabbards could have taken Kaido if Big Mama didn't show up?
ooh, oh man. That's a hard question just because we saw the effect, the impact they had. They were going in on Kaido. They were aiming for his wound that Odin committed on him like years in the past and everything too. And for a while, it genuinely looked like they were about to take him and everything too.
I honestly
Personally,
think they could have.
I felt like even if even okay, let's say if Big Mom didn't come into the picture to interrupt the fight and everything too, I still feel like Kaido. I love the sense of vengeance, well not vengeance, but like sense of redemption the She's had against Kaido, and it was so strong enough to the fact that we were able to wound him and everything but I still think it would not have been enough to defeat Kaido. But that's not to say their sacrifice was not integral to weaken Kaido, so that Luffy would be able to deliver the final blow.
I agree with that, but I still think they could have taken him, bro. Like on God, like let's be real. Like Odin, I don't think Odin really struggled against that fight with Kaido. I think he honestly had Kaido dead to rights. The only thing that Kaido did was like they grabbed the old lady shape shifted into Momonosuke and tricked him. But I think the wildest part is Odin had hands, bro. Odin was the second
Oh, dude, no,
division. Odin was second division commander, bro, of Whitebeard's crew. And I honestly think if
he
Whitebeard
had
was alive, Whitebeard would have just shut down Kaido. He would have been like, "Remember your place, bruh."
absolutely. But then again, also like I'm not like discrediting Odin for back in the day. You're absolutely right. If the shapeshifter didn't come in the picture and distracted him, then he would have like took that dub against Kaido for sure, for sure. He had to play underhanded tactics just to get that win against Odin. But keep in mind that was 20. That was like what some 20 years in the past
Yeah,
since that fight.
about
About character growth as well as training is not just what's called limited to the protagonist and like the good guys and everything too. Just think about the 20 years of experience and growth in terms of strength as well as like um, scheming and intellect Kaido developed over those 20 years. That's not to say like he was a weaker Kaido back then. I'm saying he could have had ways to defeat the 12 Sheets in those what's it called with those 20 years of experience on top of them. They just got teleported into the future like some fucking Samurai Jack shit.
yeah.
Like they had like the prior experience they had 20 years ago. And no, that's not to say like they still grew in like the time they were trying to get back against Kaido too. I'm just saying Kaido still had 20 years of experience on top of them.
I agree with that. Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. I think that makes a little bit more sense. But I still like. I think they had it because remember, there's some members who have been training. Like they didn't get to time travel with the rest of the crew,
That,
but
that's very
they trained and trained for the day that the Kozuki clan would come back and they'd have to be ready for this fight. So I gotta give it up. I still think the Red Scabbards honestly could have taken Kaido. Um, Now regarding like the pairings and the fights again, like I think we have some interesting matchups. We have Black Mariah versus Sanji, which is going to be interesting because Sanji does not hit women,
no,
regardless if
that's,
they're.
that's interesting to see in this one. This is like the first well, I guess like the first major fight he's gonna face off against a female antagonist.
Funny enough, I don't think he's gonna fight her. I think he's gonna get backup with Momonosuke's sister. I think Momonosuke's sister is gonna prove that she's a capable swordsman, and she's gonna back up Sanji.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know who Jinbei's fighting, but one interest. Yeah,
go
but
ahead.
one interesting fight that we do see, who I did not expect him because I honestly thought the pairings were going to be simple. I thought it was going to be Sanji versus Queen, Zoro versus King, Luffy versus Kaido, but we don't get that, bro. We get Marco just handling King and Queen together, bro. Like
Right.
I forget how strong Marco is, but Marco is literally just healing as he's fighting. He's literally healing as fighting. It's literally disgusting, bro. Oh my lord. I'm
He's
really
just like that a regenerative like RPG character that you can't like defeat or whatever. Like he's constantly like healing himself throughout battle as well as like an OP like he's one of like the what's it called legendary fruits or like mythical fruits I
yeah,
guess you could say.
mythical fruits. It's literally disgusting how overpowered like Marco is, and you miss that, especially in Marineford, where we see him fighting like admirals, like vice admirals and stuff, and we're like, damn, like how strong really is this guy? But then you kind of like when you put it, I think a lot of people always say it, and I'm starting to kind of mesh with it. Is never try to power scale in One Piece because you're just gonna give yourself the
No.
biggest headache ever. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm taking that one, bro, because I just can't. I'm messing with myself too much because I will lose my shit if
Right.
I will lose my shit if I'm like, oh, Crocodile, someone Luffy beat early on, and then I see Crocodile handling like Katakuri, or I see him fighting like Cracker or somebody like at like a level where they're at now, and I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like before this guy, like Luffy handled this guy, like why is he having trouble with like how are these guys going hand on hand? And then I'm just gonna like make myself a bigger headache.
Exactly, because again, going back to the power scaling, like you have to take into account one, whether they have a devil fruit power or not, as well as like how well have they developed their hockey. Some people are more, what's it called, more proficient in their hockey sense. Look at Rayleigh; he has no devil fruit power, but he's just a goat because he's just a master at hockey.
I think he was a
Um,
swordsman too, wasn't he?
whereas right, he was a swordsman, but he didn't have any like devil fruit powers. But he was like a proponent in saying like you don't need devil fruit powers to be strong as hell. He is legendary in the sense of his power. What's it called? And now we see another factor in the power scaling with I believe it was called Rio when Luffy was learning it from
Yeah, it's like it's basically like the Japanese version of hockey or something like that. Or
more internal damage. Because with hockey is like armament, you're hitting things on the surface enough to like break the surface to reach the end. I'm getting a call. Hang on one sec.
all right,
And we're back. So with, sorry, with hockey, you're trying to harden something so hard. Sorry.
yeah, you can get in the call.
Yeah, I'm trying to like decline it, but they keep calling back. Anyways, they keep trying to going back to the hockey. It hardens the surface enough to where it breaks the surface of another hard surface, that's where it like implicates damage. Rio is kind of interesting. It kind of just completely surpasses whatever hard surface and just commits like internal damage, almost like what's it called? You
the
ever seen
bet
a mantis shrimp
the
or
what?
whatever? You ever seen a mantis? Hang on. Can we pause the what's it called? The video for a sec, or
Yeah,
it's called
I got you
for a
right
sec.
now. I got you.
I have to do something real quick, and I'll be back in like a few minutes.
I got you. Say less.
All right.
All right, you were saying?
So, wait, what were we talking about? I'm so sorry.
We're talking about Rio, and you're trying to explain the method of it.
I don't know why this. Oh, the minute what's it called? The concept of Rio or Ryu, however you pronounce it, was introduced into the series. Um, it was more like internal damage, like similar to like an explosion from like inside. Like like on the surface, it didn't seem that nothing anything happened, but almost like the Rasengan, like it just kind of phased through,
Bro,
and then
I was
it caused
literally
like this
about to
internal
say it's
damage,
just like the
which
Rasengan
surpassed
and the
whatever.
Chidori. I was literally about to say that. Like I was thinking of
Exactly.
the water tower scene from Naruto.
That specific scene, exactly. That's what I drew. Like, this is just like the Rasengan. What do you mean? Like, but back to like my little what's it called? Extended metaphor or similarity between the mantis shrimp. If you don't know what the mantis shrimp is, look it up on YouTube. It's pretty badass. But it's basically like this really big crustacean that it hits. It has a really fast punch to the point where it has the fastest punch in the animal kingdom. Fun fact for y'all. Anyways, it hits so hard that it's not so much that it hits something super hard, but the speed at which it hits and when it connects to the surface, it creates a cavitation that it doesn't really cause any like physical damage on the surface, but that cavitation produces a shockwave that surpasses the physical tissue and it just causes a fucking wreck in the
Fuck,
soft tissue inside.
that's just wild.
So I feel like clarity to what Rio is.
I can see that though. Like I think it's interesting to see like the newest move that Luffy has just brought into the game. It's called Red Rock. Like I looked up what like rock meant. Like it's a
Right.
hunting. It's like a Arabian
That's like
hunting
another
bird.
thing.
You were saying?
Right. And not one was that I thought it's called for one, it's like an homage again to Ace. As we saw in the flashback in 999 to 1000. That's like the second move we've seen that Luffy has done since Red Hawk back in Fishman Island, but to the scale where when he did it against in Fishman Island, when he did it what's called Red Hawk against
Hody.
I'm sorry, who was it against him? Cody. I'm so sorry. Yeah,
Hody
Cody.
Jones.
This is second gear. This is the first time we've seen Luffy use third gear as well as a flame forced ace inspired move against a villain. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
It's definitely dope, and I like how he mixes everything together. It's Red Hawk with Artamenti, which he already that's how he already did Red Hawk is with Artamenti Hockey. But now he's using a Rio, so it hits a lot harder now. So it's not just hitting surface, but it's hit like you said before, it's hitting surface and eternal. So he finally
Like
found a way to break through Kaido's dragon scales.
right, he it was a way for him to incorporate everything he's learned from like using his devil fruit to the most potential as well as Armament Hockey. What's it called? Inspiration from Ace in his Flame and Force, which is again back into the hockey. But again, with Ryo now, he's literally taken everything he's learned through his training and incorporated that against Kaido. Big Mom was fucking shocked when Kaido took some damage from that. I think we were all shocked when we saw
Yeah.
Kaido.
This was definitely different from when he had first hit him. Like when he
Oh
had
no, he kind of just pushed him or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, he
But
was
for him
that
to draw blood against him and like put him on the ground, that's like whoa.
but see what I gotta think too is like I mean Kid and Luffy been training in that prison for like a couple weeks or days. I don't know how long the time span is. It feels like weeks. But
Right,
they both got at least like I don't expect Kid to have like Rio as strong as Luffy, but I do expect him to have like Rio to a degree, like a sense of it.
right. And as we know, like I feel like that Ryo is going to be a key factor in defeating Kaido because Kaido is just a monster with hockey. He's a monster with like his own devil fruit. He's a monster with his own like strength, endurance, and he's a Yonko and well deserved for that name. He literally tries to kill himself for fun just to see like, oh, what can actually hurt me.
Yeah, homeboy wants a meaningful death. That's all he really wants.
That's true. And then when he gave up on that meaningful death, when he fell from the sky and literally saw Kid, Killer, and what's it called, Scratchman Apu, as well as Basil Hawkins, all that time ago, he was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just start a war.
High key, bro. Like I really didn't. It really didn't hit me right now, but I think we got the best team to go against Kaido. Like, let's like on God, like Law has the best support attack ever, bro. The fact he could tell like Room and Shambles, he just teleports them. He could just teleport them around and give hits and stuff. Like he's best like supporting fighter of the like of that little I guess you can the Trinity.
Right, right. Like, I guess you want to get like all like, I guess like more nerdy about it, or like in terms of like RPG or like tactics or whatever. Like, you have like the DPS or whatever. You have Luffy, Zoro, as well as Kid, and then you have like the support, what's it called, characters like Law as well as Killer. He's probably like a DPS support, but in terms of like the best support for the team against them, it's absolutely 100% Law. Because again, you just said he can teleport them when they least expect. We saw a little bit about that in the Dressrosa arc when Luffy was cranking up that Red Hawk. He was like aiming nowhere near Doflamingo, but
Yeah,
then here I was like, oh, here we go, boom, and then he caught him off guard.
dude, it's literally like Law has almost helped Luffy win every fight. Like it's no wonder like Law's a dangerous person. And I'm surprised Law's bounty is even higher because like his devil fruit is probably the greatest devil fruit ever. I mean, Marco's you heal on point, but literally if you have kid like if Law wanted to, he really wanted to, he could kill himself and give somebody eternal life. That's
Right,
horribly disgustingly overpowered. And we know someone's done it
right, and like
because he got the devil fruit. There was somebody who had the opie fruit way before him, so we know that guy probably gave somebody eternal life.
it truly is the OP
Yeah.
fruit. I had to
Oh
stop
my!
that one in
I
there.
feel like that's everybody's like go-to joke with that one. That's so good though. It's
Yeah,
so good.
I had to slip it in for the video, but what's it called? Yeah, we are so glad that Trafalgar D Law is like part of the alliance with Luffy and everything too. Because for one, just imagine if he was like an antagonist against Luffy. Like for one, Luffy is very susceptible and weak to slashing attacks. What
Yep.
is Law? And two, a swordsman who can teleport and body dismember you just by being in his room. Like I don't know how. I feel like that'd be an interesting fight to see between Luffy and Law, but like we're glad it's not gonna happen.
It's crazy because when the supernovas first came out, I wholeheartedly expected like just how we saw like Luffy kind of run through like the Shishubaki, the warlords. I expected him to have before he even fought the new generation. He was gonna fight the emperors, and then it was gonna be like at Laughing Tail, all out battle between all the supernovas, and then the last one standing was gonna be crowned king of the pirates.
That would
But
be such a fight.
I
Absolutely.
I don't think we're gonna get that at all. I honestly,
No,
I don't. What's crazy? It's funny thing too is I think we're gonna get to the One Piece, and we're still gonna have a fight after Luffy finds the One Piece.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. One Piece has obviously been like the end goal we've imagined, like throughout the end journey. Like that's what they're trying to find. That's what we're see. We're gonna see some big fights towards One Piece in a grand fucking scale. I mean everything. Do I believe that's gonna be the last arc or last arc, let alone last big fights we're gonna see with Luffy? No, because now we have Blackbeard and his crew. They're gonna be, in my opinion, they're gonna be like the main um, fights for the Mugiwara crew to get the One Piece in terms of like the pirate side.
Yeah,
You also have the Marine side.
it's gonna be a wild fight, bro. This war is gonna be incredible.
Absolutely.
That's
Uh,
I think it's gonna be a triple threat. I think Luffy's gonna find the One Piece. Everyone's gonna crown him king of the pirates. It's gonna be like a fun little thing, and then we're gonna hear the government on one side, and we're gonna see Blackbeard on the other side, and it's gonna be the final battle is gonna be the battle of ideals. It's gonna be
yeah,
like it's gonna be kind of the government providing like this idea of like for we're gonna stop this once and for all. The world doesn't need freedom because freedom is like they're gonna probably place some like freedom shouldn't be given to all like security is better than freedom government bullshit. Then you're gonna have Blackbeard who's gonna have like the same ideals aligned with Luffy, but not at the same time. It's gonna be like freedom is everything, but the world does before the freedom can be given, the world has to burn. And we're just gonna have Luffy who's like, no, freedom's for the world to it's for the world to decide what they want. Like we can't just force our will onto others. And it's gonna be the three I think the world's gonna be called the War of Ideals. And we're gonna see Luffy come up on top. Of course, it's One Piece manga, but I think this is like it's gonna be so interesting because Blackbeard is probably my favorite anti-Luffy like I've seen. Like he's everything that Luffy is. He smiles all the time. He's charming. He has all this like um I wouldn't say like he has this villain charm to him that you just want to see him win. And it's crazy how like even some parts when he loses, you can't help but like, damn, is this guy really the big bad?
right,
But he really is because he's everything that Luffy is at the same time. He does believe in the dreams. He has his own dreams that he wants to make succeed, but he's willing to like burn the world to make his dreams while Luffy wants to see the world flourish to see his dreams come true.
right. He is so similar to Luffy. It's going back to like when he first encountered Luffy by chance, way back, that they were able to get along. They both love food. They both have this idea of like you have to chase your dreams no matter what the cost, and it's to the point where like Luffy even like you're right and everything too. He didn't know who he was at the time and what like the stuff he did as well as like what that's the guy Ace has been after and everything too. But I feel like those opening introductions showed how similar Blackbeard was to Luffy in the sense that this guy is like a bad version of Luffy and like what he stands for to a more extreme degree.
Definitely, definitely. And I think it's crazy how like even when Bellamy was like dissing their whole idea of being pirates who have dreams and stuff, I think it's crazy that Blackbeard was the one person in that aspect who was like, why would you make fun of somebody's dream? Like it's crazy because you see how all of the evil he's done, how he's climbed to the top of being a warlord by just literally playing his cards right. And you can kind like a part of me thinks this, and I really think that if there was ever going to be a chosen one, I think it's Blackbeard. I think Blackbeard's the chosen one, and it's kind of like an Anakin Skywalker situation where he's just going down the wrong path, and it just takes the one person to remind him, like, no, like, ah, the fuck up.
Deja vu?
No, I think I dropped my tequila bottle.
Oh no, not the tequila.
Oh, the present too. Not good. It's safe. It's capped, so I don't have
What
to
was that?
worry. I don't have to worry about that shit.
Uh,
Yeah. But yeah, I honestly think Blackbeard's the chosen one. I think I think he's the chosen one. I think Luffy's job is to kind of remind him that, dreams are like not that. Cuz I my big theory is that he's Rox's son. That Blackbeard is Rox's son.
oh, from the Rocks Pirate. Yes.
Yeah, I think Rox had a son, and it was Teach. Because even when you see like the silhouette of Rox, I think we actually even see a picture of him at one point, or something of a picture like a silhouette. It's very mimicry of of what's his name? Oh my lord, if fucking Teach. And I think he's trying to recreate the Rocks Pirates his own way. I wouldn't be surprised if he has well he's trying to get Weevil, who we're told is the son of Whitebeard. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a member of the Charlotte family on his side. It doesn't need to be I don't know who would join the Charlotte's who's at that level would join of him. Um I think we're gonna. Like I said, bro. I think we're gonna be surprised when we find out that Luffy and the crew find One Piece, but the battle isn't over.
No, absolutely not. It's gonna go beyond One Piece. Like One Piece has been like the sought after goal. But does that mean it's going to be the end of the series and like the finale fight and everything too? No, it's such an Oda thing to do to like keep it going after that. He is such a master at like pulling these unexpected plot twists um, to the point where we're just flabbergasted at what like the outcome is and what he is able to pull.
Exactly.
He hints at it very frequently. That the show is so hidden to the fact we kind of just like push it to the side. But when they come back, it just comes full circle, knowing, excuse me,
It's all good.
even though we unexpected it.
Oh yeah, dude. Like Chapter 1000 is asked like is a lot of people are a lot of people were happy because I was definitely excited when I read it. I was fucking up and down. I was like, dude, this is fucking lit. We're getting some Ace Yamato stuff. We're getting some like supernovas versus the two emperors, and at the same time too, a lot of people were still kind of like shitting on it, saying like, "Oh, I wish we had more. I wish we had this and that." I'm like, but don't we really already have that already? Like Chapter 1000, I want to see like the Straw Hat Crew handle. I want to see Luffy proclaim like these outrageous things. And when that chapter ends with Luffy saying, "I'm gonna be the one to be king of the pirates," you forget like because he says it so much, but you forget how every time he says it, there's so much conviction, so much weight behind those words that right after he literally beats Kaido, you're like, there's no doubt that he's not going to be king of the pirates. There's not a single doubt that you don't think he has what it takes to be king of the pirates. But I mean, dude, chapter 1000 is insane,
Sorry, like off a little.
huh?
Yes, absolutely.
But
I was just saying I cut off a little bit, but I kind of got the a little bit of what you're like how like it was just so hyped to the point where like chapter 1000, like at the end of the chapter, it was just like the perfect ending to that chapter where like it was a Luffy moment where he like, despite the odds, despite like what's riding on this fight, so much is riding on this fight, and what the outcome is going to be, he's still there to confidently, without a doubt, say, "I'm going to surpass you, and I'm going to be king of the pirates." And we
it's
fucking believe him.
dude, it's wild, man. And a little fun fact, like to point out too, is like going back to how we think Luffy's words are that he wants freedom for the world, huh?
Right? I didn't say.
Oh my bad. But like one fun fact about Luffy, like fun fact, fun thing to play with is like when Luffy goes to Kinemon and Kinemon's like, bro, like, can you please save Wano for us? Like Luffy kind of always says like, I'm not a hero. I'm a pirate first. Um, I'm a pirate first. I do what I can. I do everything like that. Um, we never believe like, okay, we know Luffy's not a superhero. Luffy's not, he's not going to be the one to save the day. But Luffy always surprises us when he goes, "Of course, like I was always gonna say Wano. I was always gonna say that." Like he reminds people like when you're my friend, like you don't have to ask for me for my help. You've already gotten it, and
Yeah,
it always takes me thinking like, dude, for a man who says he's not a superhero, a man who says he's not a hero, he does definitely play that role a lot.
I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like a lot of times we try to envision ourselves as like this like special person, this special hero that like everyone looks up to, but it doesn't have to be on the scale that we're loved by like thousands, millions, or do this grand deed or gesture. We could cure cancer and everything too, or like on the scale of like curing cancer or something. I, I think Oda is trying to communicate that Luffy is just trying to do this thing for his friends, literally, and by doing this good deed for his friends, he's seen as a hero by his friends. He doesn't care about being like as popular or as good to everybody else. He cares about being there for his friends, and that is what true heroism is all about. It doesn't have to be doing such a good thing on the scale of being remembered by all these like thousands of people for that recognition or for the good of like all these thousands of people. It's just doing even though it's a big act what he's doing, fighting for his friends,
Yep.
and those the outcome of those fights have big implications for like a bunch of people. He's literally doing it for a small group of people because um, they're going through this challenge, and he just wants to help. That I think is like the best representation of heroism that Oda's trying to communicate. You don't have to like do this big thing. The fact that you're doing this for your friends is already you being a hero.
I honestly think from this like this fight in this arc, we're gonna be surprised that like I believe Apu, Drake, Hawkins, all of them are kind of gonna be like, you know what, like Luffy's the man. He beat Kaido, and they're gonna be like, yo, I guess you tell us what to do now. And he's just gonna be like, what do you mean? I tell you what to do. You guys are pirates. Like, aren't we all racing to the One Piece? And there's just gonna kind of get reinvigorated to like, you know,
Yeah,
we had our own cruise. Let's go back to the way we do things.
right, right.
Because I'm not gonna lie,
So
I kind of hated like how like they were working for Kaido. Because I was like, bro, like y'all are supposed to be supernovas. Y'all supposed to be like the next big shots. Like, how are you gonna let Kaido tell you what to do? And that's why I love Kid so much as a character. Kid literally grew on me in this arc is because he was like, fuck that, dude. I'm not gonna be like, you know, Apu. I'm not gonna be like Hawkins. I'm not gonna just sell my soul to the devil just so I can, you know, exist. And I love how Kaido does not kill Kid. Like
yeah,
there's a part of me that thinks like Kaido respected Kid like standing his ground so much that he was like, I'm not killing this dude. He's way too strong for me to kill. It's like wasting a
absolutely.
fucking a person at this point.
Yeah, like it go like one he respects like the resistance he has because he saw all the other supernovas who just fell in line without a doubt, but he saw a kid resisting to the end. He like fucked up his crew to no extent, and here he is still resisting. I think he dig that spirit, and to the point like, all right, one he respects it to the point where he's not gonna kill him, but also like imagine if he broke that spirit but integrated into his own crew. He saw like the potential and the strength kid had. He just wanted it for him to be
Exactly.
part of his crew in due time.
Bro, it is it is just so awesome to see how like Oda like he never writes himself in a hole, really. You think he does, and you think you know where he's going with everything, but he always just somehow like surprises everyone. And that's why like with everything that's happened in these 1,000 chapters, with every little like built up and stuff, I think we've like a lot of people are on the right track when we think that Luffy's whole big thing when he becomes Pirate King is bringing freedom to the seas is all starts from like these 1,000 chapters where all he's done is just been himself talking about the beauty of piracy and how being a free soul on the sea and how amazing that is. Like, I think Oda's like he's told us exactly what the One Piece was and exactly what makes Luffy so special and why Luffy's gonna do it. And I think everyone just kind of like hasn't been paying attention to it. But for the seldom few who've noticed like that, Luffy's whole thing is about bringing freedom to people. Like we've seen it all. And that's why I won't be surprised when Luffy says my first order is king is to bring freedom to the seas. And I'm gonna be like with everyone. I'm like I fucking called it. Like we're gonna be on the same boat of like, dude, we knew this was what Luffy always wanted as king of the pirates. We know this is why he wants to be king, was so he can bring
Right.
freedom to the seas.
I like how you brought that same boat pun with that. That's pretty
You know, I had to throw something in there. You know, we're talking about pirates here. We gotta, you know, we're gonna put some pirate jokes in here.
a little bit. It's a unfortunate to say that the crew is not on the same boat as they are towards the end. But
Uh,
rest in peace, Mary, we love you. We love you.
hey man, Mary still lives on, bruh.
Absolutely. Let's just can we like talk a little bit about that? Like the fact that like One Piece is so great of a show that like it made you cry for a ship, bro.
Dude, One Piece just had some of the best moments. It made me cry over a ship. It made a fight with two friends seem more depressing than anything. Seeing Usopp and Luffy fight was heartbreaking. The second when Sanji kicks like Luffy from saying like if you don't want to be on this ship, then you can get off. Like it kills me because we have that moment where like Zoro says, if you bring Usopp back on the ship after he disrespected you, I'm gonna leave the crew. And Sanji even tells like Zoro, bro, I agree with you. Like I can't follow a weak captain, and it's just it almost starts this civil war between the crew because you have people who are like, no, like Usopp, like he's been with us since day one. Why are we gonna leave him? And it just reminds me like Luffy's not getting like a super omega crew just to like battle the world. He's literally making a family on the ship, and it just goes to show like I think everyone had it like, how is Usopp gonna compete against these big baddies in the future? He can't just like trick his way into every fight and winning. Although that'd be dope, but we just see that Usopp himself has to grow as a person, and for him to be like, I can't just have my crew carry me. I can't just have my crewmates carry me all the time. He has to get stronger too. And when he makes the alias Soga King or Sniper King, it goes to show like this is him in a way getting stronger. And I think that emotional fight where they have with each other, it was just heartbreaking to see like Luffy doesn't want to fight him, but Usopp doesn't want to fight him either. But they know like this is a true fight between pirates where I am being insubordinate. I am your captain. We have to like sort this out, and it's always heartbreaking, especially to the last degree when Luffy still doesn't know who Sniper King is, and you're just like, as much as Usopp doesn't want to like be there for his crew or wants to like disown them, he loves them all so much. He's willing to like do whatever it takes to save them to the point where they even shoot. They go to war with the world government, bro. Like I will say this, like that whole moment with Robin just like destroyed me in One Piece, bro. I think I was like every time I've rewatched that scene more than the whole Ace dying scene. And I think that's because that moment just hits so hard for me when she's like someone who's literally shackled themselves. Going back to how Luffy brings freedom to people, Robin has literally been her own like warden to herself, her own prisoner. She's imprisoned herself for years, trying not to get close to people, trying not to like do anything with people because she like knows that she has to die. Like her place in the world is nothing. But for Luffy to free her from herself, to make her say the words that she's always wanted to say, is it just heartbreaks you. Like the second she says, "I want to live, take me away," you just see like that face on Luffy's face where it's like, "That's what I want to hear. I want to hear freedom. I want to hear the everyone like scream for freedom." Kills me, kills me every time,
Absolutely.
bruh. Like the
It'll definitely be like one of the greatest One Piece moments throughout the series.
oh, of course, and it's up there. Mary's farewell is another one too. Like the fact that this ship had a soul, that this ship's last will was just put me in the sea and fix me enough to where I can stand, where I can sail. I'm gonna save them. I'm gonna save my crew for one last ride. Killed me, bro. Kills me. Every moment when she like the boat is saying, I just wanted to set sail with them for one last time. Dude, the fact that Luffy rolls over to get into Mary, the fact that that little ship did what it could to like carry these like these I think the time was like 7 people back breaks my heart, and how even like the shipwrights are like that ship had so much soul, it was impossible.
Like,
One just talking about it, bro.
yeah, and I think that's what like Oda succeeds in so well, that he's able to like create so much emotional investment from the reader to like a ship, to all these side characters, to even like crew members of like the villain crew they're fighting against. For example, like Corazon's backstory, or as a Senor Pink in the
Bruh.
Dressrosa arc.
So fantastic. Senior Pink to this day is like one of my favorite side like character villains because he's so
Yeah,
is I wouldn't say he's so insignificant, but you, at first glance you're like, oh, whatever. This is a weird character. To only find out that this man has literally lost everything. He lost his son, and the only way to make his wife smile and be happy again is to dress up as a baby because he had his son's face, to losing his wife to the point where now he just wants to look like his son, not for himself, not for his wife, but just because he knows like he wants to carry on their memories. He wants to make sure that he never forgets them. Like it's literally the best when Frankie and him fight and they just are going at it and Frankie like calls him a real man after that fight. Like Frankie doesn't discredit him. Freddie looks the Frankie doesn't even look down on him. Frankie just literally looks at him at the same level. Even though he's on the ground, he's won the fight. He doesn't think like any less of Senior Pink. he looks at him as like, "I fought a real man today, a real man, and I'm proud that like this man and me fought. And I'm so happy that I won, but I never will ever look at this man any lower than what how I look at myself." Fantastic, fantastic fight. I think,
Right. He
yeah,
didn't see him as an enemy at
yeah, and it just goes to show like the little moments like that that One Piece has with their side
did what he
characters.
wanted.
Yeah, like little moments like that with One Piece always kind of like break your heart. Like never again did we think like we were gonna like think of the whale. Like my favorite like crewmate background story is Brooks. Like Brooks' background story is like the most depressing. Like the second that his captain like said like
Yeah.
when you're on my ship, you will love music as much as me. For them adopting the whale as their pet, for them like going to battle and doing what they can. Like it's just heartbreaking. Like they all died with doing what they love, which is playing music. And to that very degree, like every time Brooke plays music, he remembers all his friends that he lost to be given a second chance. To be given a second chance at life and see like the one little whale he wanted to see because Luffy gave him the freedom to like see Laboon again. It's just
Brooke,
fantastic.
Brooke, I feel like is one of the more underrated. What's it called? Members of the Straw Hats. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit as he should. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, or in the sense of like the moments he's had in the crew, like, aren't hyped up enough as much as like nothing. Okay, okay, nothing will ever like really compare to when Zoro took Luffy's pain from Bartolome Q Kuma. That was one of the most amazing, greatest moments of One Piece. But we also have to notice like the smaller moments in quotation marks, like where Brooke had his moment against Big Mom when he was trying to get the road poneglyph and everything too. He stood his ground against Big Mom by himself, a Yonko, ready to fucking die,
Yep.
just so he could like come back to his crew with the poneglyph. And I thought it was also badass too, just how he's like, Big Mom was talking the shit to him, and he was just like, "Listen, young lady." And we forget like Brooke has like a good amount of years past
Yeah,
Big Mom.
it's like
He's
150. I think 150.
man, he's like has stood literally the test of time and is willing to die again, even though he can't really die, I guess you could say, just for the sake of
Dude, Brooke is just amazing. Um, I think every Straw Hat, like when he like, I rewatch it like subbed and dubbed, just to like get back into it. And rewatching everyone's background story is always just so heartbreaking. Like I don't think anyone had like a great background story. Like Nami's kills me every moment. Even Usopp's little like mom thing kills me. Zoro's is the only one who like was kind of small, but it's still so impactful how like that literally shaped him to the person he is. And then we get Sanji's, we get everybody's, and like I think like there's little moments like you said are what like kill One Piece that like literally make you die. Like I remember watching during the Big Mama arc when Sanji's like his sister asks like where'd you learn manners? Why are you like so proper? Like we our dad never taught you that. And he kind of just goes, no, our dad didn't. And then he just remembers Zeph and like, dude, that shit kills me, dude. That shit literally kills me every time I'm like, oh, because Judge wasn't his dad. Zeph was his dad.
like Red Leg was.
Dude, like what kills me the most is that little arc where he remembers like, well, if it's a girl in the kitchen, you can kick her like me. He goes, how could I ever like kick a woman? That's disrespectful. I'd never think about doing that. And he goes, if you ever hit a woman, Sanji, then yeah, then like then I'm gonna what do you say? I'm gonna you have to cut your dignity off, and I have to cut mine off too. And he goes, why would you do that? And he goes, because if he goes, I'll cry just thinking about it, dude. But he goes like a father like it's a father like if I raised you to be a man who hits women, then I'm not a man myself. And then he goes, then I have to take myself out too. And I was just like, oh bruh, Zev.
Yeah,
Like and then it goes to show like it makes that little moment they have before he leaves the restaurant like impactful even more when he's like like don't catch a cold or like take care of yourself, take care of your health. Like something as small as that hits Sanji more than ever because that's that's like every parent's like little words to their son, and for him that
right.
literally just signified like yeah, like I know you had to go, you had to leave the nest someday, but like I'm always gonna be like your dad.
Right. That
Like it
father
was,
son. That
dude, just so good, just so
right.
perfect. Those little moments like that.
Absolutely. Is it okay if we like pause? I need to eat with my family. It's my parents' 31st anniversary, and then I can
Oh
come
yeah,
back.
bro. I was about to say like we're almost done. Like we're 5 minutes from wrapping up. If you want to like just do a quick little
Um,
5 minute.
yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, I guess what I want to say towards the end is just 1,000 chapter met the expectations to no fucking degree. As like the fans who've been riding along the journey for so long and everything too. Um, my biggest question towards the end is probably like whether Yamato will like join Luffy's crew as Odin did with Luffy, and for and I guess if you haven't seen One Piece, if you're just watching this for the first time, please go watch it. Please don't listen to
it's
what anybody has to say. Like, yes, it's long,
it's
but I
fantastic though.
promise you, it's not a journey. You fall in love with the journey. You fall in love with the interactions. You fall in love to all their interactions with everybody else, and that's what life is. It's not about the destination. It's not about reaching the One Piece. It's the journey there. That's what it's all about, and that's what I've taken to my life just to no extent. Please go watch it. And
Yeah.
last thing I want to say, happy birthday, Evan.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much, bro. All right, Adriel. Thank you so much. We're gonna end the episode here. I thank you for coming on the show, dude, and giving us like a nice little like One Piece talk about Chapter 1000. I appreciate you a lot, bro. We're gonna kick it. Hey, I'm having a little thing Friday if you're trying to stop by if you're not working or something.
For sure, bro. I'll let you know. But
All
yeah,
right.
thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here and everything too. I like this is the first time I get to express my like One Piece fandom to like so freely, just like how Luffy wanted. But hey,
All
all
right,
right, man.
G.
You have
Thank
a
you
good
so much. Catch you later. Peace.
day in the comments.
All right.